ska få lyssna på en mycket spännande föreläsning om probiotika i hudvård. Så slå er ner, kom in, sätt er. Eller stå kvar, det går också bra. Varmt välkomna till Akademiamässan, ni som inte var på programpunkten innan. Fjärde året i rad så kör vi Akademiamässan. Och det är andra året i rad som vi är här på Älvsjömässan tillsammans med Fit for Life Weekend. Och det vi vill att ni ska känna och göra här är att ställa alla era frågor och reda ut begreppen inom den moderna skönhetsvården och verka för att den blir säkrare och tryggare. Så superkul att ni har kommit hit. And now I'm going to switch to English because our next presenter comes to us straight from South Africa. Welcome on stage, Mr. Trevor Steyn. Big applause. Very welcome. Mr. Steyn, you are the CEO and founder of Esse Organics. And you will today talk about probiotics in skincare.
Yeah.
I know that you have a strong passion for African plants.
Yes, I do.
Can you tell us a little bit beforehand on what did that come from?
I studied chemistry and my supervisor, I chose very early what I wanted to do. We were looking for new pharmaceuticals from indigenous plants to South Africa, and I was a chemist, so it seemed natural to move very quickly to look at these plants that nobody had looked at before.
And what did you find?
Well, that's kind of the reason for the existence of the company. We found some anti-aging actives from African plants, and that was kind of where AS came from.
Exactly. And now, are there others following you using these plants that you started?
There are, but I think there's still huge biodiversity there that can still be tapped. So we still move all around Southern Africa looking for new plants.
Amazing continent, and I guess you're right, there is so much more to know and experience there. I'm going to give the stage to you. Trevor will speak for a while, and please, if you have questions, think about them, and we will have a question round for everybody to be able to ask Trevor whatever questions you might want to ask him. So good luck, and we'll be listening.
Cool. Okay, so I am under instruction from the marketing department to be more personable and share information about myself. So I'm Trevor. I'm from South Africa. I've been married for 23 years. I have 7 children. I live in a tiny little farming town in the middle of nowhere, and I like surfing and squash and yoga. Great, that's done. But most of all, I like being in the laboratory. So there are some basic concepts that I need to get across very quickly, just definitions. These videos are about to sort of be launched on YouTube. I'm not going to play them. Okay, so a microbe is any single cell that you can't see. So there are bacteria and archaea, there are fungi like yeasts, there are protists, so there are a huge range of them. So these are the kingdoms of life on Earth, and bacteria, those are microbes, and so are archaea, and so are most protists, and a lot of fungi. So kind of the only things that aren't microbes are plants and animals. This is the best we can see through a light microscope of what's going on with the bacteria. So you can't see things fantastically well. They're really small. They're about 10 times smaller than a human cell. These are protists, they're a lot bigger, you can see what's going on, and they behave a little bit more like small animals in a way. So you can see them moving around and looking for food and that sort of thing. your microbiome is all the microbes in and on your body. Okay? And right now, if you look at the six kingdoms of life, right now on your body, you have more bacteria than human cells. You have archaea, a huge number. You also have protists on and in you. You have a lot of yeasts and other fungi growing in your skin in particular. You have animals in and on you. So right now, on your body, there's only one kingdom of life missing, and it's plants. And it shouldn't be that surprising, because if you look at the history of life on planet Earth, since 4,000 million years ago, microbes have been in control. So if you look there, the first time that multicellular life starts is somewhere around 1,400 million years ago. So for the previous 2 billion years, microbes were in full control. So when more than one cell started to join, they did it under the rules set by microbes. So basically every single multicellular life form on the planet has a microbiome. Trees have a microbiome, all animals, all plants, everything that we've looked at. And basically, if you look at animals, the more complex the animal gets, the more complex its microbiome gets. So it's an interesting thing that it's networking that makes an organism complex. So this is just a breakdown of where the diversity of microbes lies in your body. So you have 29% of the diversity in your gut. In your mouth you have around 26% of the diversity, and your skin holds 21% of your microbial diversity. So it's a pretty key part of your microbiome. Your lungs are also pretty key. So this is a quick look at the ecology on skin. Don't look at the different types of microbes. It's not too important right now. You're just looking at the colors. And depending on whether a skin site is moist, so perhaps the gap between your fingers, the microbes would be very different if the skin was dry. So the back of your hand would be a very diverse microbiome. The moist area between your fingers would be a completely different one. And then in oily areas like the forehead or the center of the back, again, a completely different microbiome. This is just an example of how the way some of them look. There's some bad guys like Staphylococcus aureus. There's some good guys like Staphylococcus epidermidis, which you really need. So that was the sort of overview look. This is more of a way to look at these things as partnerships. So the old view of evolution was that you have competition and survival of the fittest, and basically one species dominating and slaughtering all the rest. This is a completely different way of looking at things. The new way of looking at evolution is that it's partnerships that make the difference, and it's complex partnerships that make the real difference. So just an example of some old friends. Lichen was one of the first colonizers of land from the sea, and it's not one species, it's a perfect mix of two different species. So you have a fungus and an algae. The algae produces energy from sunlight, and the fungus supports it. So there you can see the algae, and there's the fungus supplying it with food and with nutrients and with water. So if you separate those two partners, they both die. Same in coral. Coral's a perfect partnership between an animal and a microbe. So dotted in there you can see a microbe that converts energy from the sun, and the coral supports it. And again, if you separate them, they both die. So do we have any old friends? If there are at least 10 microbes in your body for each human cell, and that was the cover of the world's most prestigious scientific journal called Nature, and that was in 2010 to publish the findings of the Human Microbiome Project. So just a quick look at some of our old friends, and I'm going to simplify this super simple. So if you look at our guts, basically we're providing food and shelter for microbes, and in return they're providing us with vitamin K, some key amino acids. They're just digesting our food for us, and we're finding out more and more about what these microbes are doing for us. So what are they doing on skin? Basically, again, we're providing food in the form of sebum and shelter in the form of a fairly loose stratum corneum, so that they can live in. And in return, they're keeping the pH of our skin under control by producing lactic acid and protecting us against pathogens. So if you have a good coverage of microbes, a pathogen battles to break in. But I'll explain more about that later. So I'm just going to give you two quick examples of superpowers that microbes can give you. The first example comes from Japan. Japanese people are the only people on the planet that can convert seaweed into energy. You and I eat seaweed and it goes straight through. We may get some vitamins out of it, but we don't convert it to energy. The majority of Japanese people, more than 95%, are able to take seaweed and convert it to energy because they have a microbial partner in their gut that allows them to do that. Now, I don't know about you, but that's something that I think I'd quite like. It's a nice little superpower to have. They looked at how that happened, and basically what happened was by eating seaweed quite a lot, they were eating an algae that was converting energy from the seaweed, and that gene moved across into one of their gut microbes to give them this superpower. And they looked, the Human Microbiome Project data is public data, so they looked at that data to see, hey, has this ever happened before? You know, this little gene transfer, this little superpower shift, has it ever happened before? And they found 80,000 instances where this had happened. So there is a huge exchange of genes happening in your microbiome, in your skin, in your lungs, and in your gut. Another example is in Papua New Guinea. There's a group of people that live high in the mountains there, and basically they live only on sweet potatoes. But there's a problem with sweet potatoes, there's very little protein in them. So they were trying to figure out how these people were staying alive. And again, they found a microbe in their gut. And these guys had been eating a few roots as well. And there are a lot of plants have a microbial partner that allows them to convert nitrogen from the atmosphere into protein. And these guys absorb that superpower, and they're the only group of people that can make their own amino acids in their gut. So this brings up the concept of potentially catching good germs. For the last very long time, we have had this idea that germs are somewhere out there and that we can stay away from them. And if they do get on us, we're probably going to get sick, potentially even die. So I like this idea that perhaps also out there are some germs that can give some benefits rather than just try to kill us. It's a more pleasant world for you, that's for sure. So this is a key quote from the Human Microbiome Project. When I first read this, I was very reluctant to believe it. I was a chemist. I trained at university for a really long time to take individual molecules out of plants and use them as pharmaceuticals. If that's true, it means that a human being is an ecology. Because if the bugs in me are doing more to keep me alive than my cells are, it means that I'm not a single thing. I'm this very functional group of things. And when you have an ecology and you treat it with a single molecule, things generally don't go well. Every time we've done it on a big scale, there's been some unintended consequence. So take DDT, for example. You take DDT and you add it to an ecology, and sure, you may get malaria under control, but are you prepared for the other consequences? I'm not going to get into that. That's just an idea of what we're actually looking at. So those are bacteria, the dots, and that's a skin cell, and the nucleus is in the middle. So that skin cell has docking sites for those microbes. They lock in, and when you look at the previous quote, like how are these guys doing a lot to keep me alive and healthy, they operate as little outsourced chemistry factories for your cell. So what happens is your cell goes, oh, I don't have the genetics to pull this reaction off. It puts out the starting material and says, you keep the energy for the conversion, the microbe converts, and it's reabsorbed back into the cell. So this is an idea of where the microbes are. Intuitively, you would think that the microbes would be on the surface. So you would think, okay, fair enough, and I can always kill them if I want to use alcohol or something violent. But if you look at this, you'll see that the diversity actually increases as you get deeper into skin. So what they thought, if you see the sweat gland there, they thought, okay, great, so there's probably a microbiome associated with the sweat gland, and there's probably a microbiome associated with the hair follicle and the pilosebaceous unit. And there were, those are completely different microbiomes, but what they didn't expect is that below that, even in the fatty tissue, right in the deep dermis, there's huge populations of microbes. And what that means is that there are two options. Either your immune system is doing the worst job in history of killing microbes, or it's actively helping them. And it's definitely the second one. So if you look at our immune systems, we have an innate immune system, which is quite angry and aggressive and tries to kill stuff. And then you have this other immune system called the adaptive immune system, which acts as like a diplomat between the microbes and the angry guy. And basically, most of what that adaptive immune system is doing is going, hey, I can partner with this guy, and brings it in and holds it as a potential reservoir of genetic diversity. And yet, since the late 1800s, we have waged war on microbes. We've been trying to kill them really hard. And we're doing a particularly bad job. So I'm sure you've all heard of resistance and the issues with antibiotics. But the real problem is that nature just hates a vacuum. So if I want to kill all the microbes on this piece of table, I just want this piece, and it's like, but I want them all dead. So perhaps I can use 70% ethanol or chlorhexidine or something violent and obliterate all of these microbes. But this cubic meter of air has 2.5 million microbes in it. So all I've done is create an open space in an ecology with no microbes. And basically these guys are going to be landing on there and starting to colonize immediately. And all I've done really is torn apart an existing ecology and created an opportunity for very aggressive microbes. Because who wins in that game? There's no one else there. It's whoever divides fastest wins. And that is not the kind of partnership kind of guy that you want. What you're looking for is you're looking for a slow partnering kind of microbe. So all you're doing by trying to kill them all is creating more aggressive versions. So they said to one of the lead researchers of the Human Microbiome Project, are you really saying that we're going to have to relook at every single disease again? And he said, well, yes. If it's an infectious disease, it's because of what he calls dysbiosis, a breakdown in an ecosystem. And a good way to think about it is take the Amazon jungle and take a seed of a weed. I don't know what your worst weed is here, but I mean, you can take that seed and throw it into that ecosystem and nothing's going to happen. It's a completed ecosystem. It's diverse, it's resistant to change, it's a completed thing. So one pathogen arriving there is really not much of a problem. You have such huge species diversity that even if there is a mild issue, other species will take over. But if you take that same seed and you throw it onto recently plowed land, you're going to have chaos. That weed's going to dominate. And it's the same on your skin, basically. You have a very similar situation. If you have a good, solid ecology and a pathogen comes along, you're cool. So the question arises, what do you do about that? So a probiotic is a living microbe that's beneficial. Please Google it. That's the definition. Okay. It's measured in colony-forming units per milliliter. So it's the number of microbes that can grow and form a colony per milliliter. A prebiotic is a food that you can apply to an ecosystem to shift the ecosystem in a generally good direction. So if you took glucose or something, anything can digest that, right? It can convert to energy like this. So you would favor opportunistic microbes. Those are the guys you don't want. So what you do is you shift into a more difficult to access nutrient, so that it takes a microbe longer to access the energy, and basically it's a partnership kind of microbe. And basically what you would hope to do is rebuild relationships with old friends by feeding them with probiotics and bringing back keystone species. So you would want key species back. It's a bit like the redwoods in North America. If you take the redwoods out of that ecosystem, the whole ecosystem collapses. All the little bugs and beetles and birds have to find new homes and they're out of there. So what you hope to do is bring back these key species that allow the rest of the microbiome to be diverse. This is just a quick show of how your mother was really serious about your microbiome. So 5 days before birth, you start seeing the microbiome of the birth canal shift very strongly. So you have these very diverse vaginal microbiomes around the world, and then all of a sudden 5 days before birth, they all become very lactobacillus dominant. And that's to seed that child's skin with the right microbes on exit. And then once that's happened, so then the kid has good probiotics on their skin. The next thing that the mother does, and no one knows how yet, but the mother is able to pull microbes from her gut into breast milk and seed that child's intestinal system with huge download of diversity with probiotic microbes. So if you look at this, look at the red, pinkish up there, the chunk of the graph on this side, that is lactobacillus in a child that was 2 weeks old and delivered normally. Look at that tiny little wedge on the right there, that's lactobacillus on the surface of the skin of a child that was delivered by C-section. And that same kid by age 20 is still deficient in lactobacillus. So look at lactobacillus there and compare it to the tiny little wedge on the other side. So around about 10 times more on a normal birth child. And that's because those first microbes to colonize really deep. You saw how deep those microbes make it through. So if you're going to damage your microbiome, you can damage it from the surface, but you don't really ever get very deep there. So the first partnerships are really important. So if you look at different people, we're all about everybody on the planet is about 99.9% identical when you look at our genes. But when you look at our microbiomes, we're on average 19.5% different. So the thing that makes you a beautiful and unique snowflake is not your genetics, it's your microbiome. Two people can be as different as 90% in their microbiomes. They're also looking into this as, with regard to how people find compatibility. And it seems as though we intuitively know whether or not someone's microbiome is compatible with ours. So this is just looking at the science. In the 1990s, basically, no one was talking about the skin microbiome. In 2004, the human genome was sequenced, so then all of a sudden we could see what was human, and at least we understood that there was this other thing that we weren't taking into account. So we could start the process of looking at it, and then as the gene sequencing tools arrived for us to be able to see what was really going on in skin, we were able to start publishing more and more on the skin microbiome. By we, I mean scientists all over the world, not just us. So we're losing a lot of these old friends of ours, and it's causing pretty much the bulk of the autoimmune disease in the world. Antibiotics are a major contributor. So if you take an antibiotic, it has an impact on your skin microbiome for the 3 years at least. That's where they cut the study, is after 3 years. C-section is another major factor. It's not as common here, and at least it's becoming common practice here to take a vaginal swab and apply it to skin so that that child has a better chance. But if you look at privatized systems, health systems like in America, you have a 38% C-section rate, and in China it's even worse with their one-child policy, it's above 60%. Diet, we just don't eat the diversity of plants and animals that we used to. We used to eat around 450 different plants in a year. Currently, I don't know about you, but I'm lucky if I get to 30. We also don't eat enough fiber. Drinking water is an issue. All of our drinking water is generally treated, usually with chlorine. Might say that you drink bottled water, but you don't bath or shower in bottled water. So the chlorine does have an effect. Sanitation. Parents have this idea that their child's bottle needs to be sterilized, that the floor needs to be sterilized, that this poor kid lives in this completely sterile environment. It's not okay. That kid needs an opportunity to get out there and find microbial friends. Formula versus breastfeeding. The mother is able to change the probiotics that she supplies to her child the whole way through her breastfeeding. So as the kid hits solid food, she's able to supply a different set of microbes. Human interaction, we just don't touch as much as we used to. We used to live in groups of 30 where we knew everybody, and human contact was easy and comfortable, whereas now we tend to be more standoff. Okay, so what are these things going to do for skin? You can't avoid pathogens, they're in the room right now. Basically what you want to do is you want a living armor to protect you from them. So you want to maintain that ecosystem on your skin, because if a pathogen comes along, it activates the immune system. And as soon as it's activated the immune system, you have subclinical inflammation, and as soon as you have inflammation, you have double the rate of aging. You don't want that. So long term, it's called competitive exclusion. You want your microbes to act as your shield. So this is one way of showing it. Each individual cell, so this is a bad guy, that's Staphylococcus aureus. Each individual cell has docking sites for these microbes. What you want to do is you want to occupy all the docking sites. Because if they're couple open, that bad guy can come along and dock and destroy that cell in about 3 hours. This is another way of trying to see it. Basically what you want is a good coverage, so you add probiotics, and then when the bad guy comes, the space is all used up, there are no nutrients, and it can't live on the surface. This is just to show that it's a numbers game. You want lots of probiotics, high numbers, so that you can outcompete for that docking site. Because it's just a matter of chance as to who lands there. So the other thing that probiotics can do is they signal to skin cells to tighten up T-junctions. So they can show that there's a huge jump in the number of T-junctions. I don't know if you've heard of T-junctions, they were only really discovered in 2008, but they're the biggest thing that's stopping you from losing lots of water and dying. They used to think that the stratum corneum was barrier function. They thought that the oil and the overlapped cells were the way that your body prevented water loss, but it's actually these T-junctions that do it. So T-junctions are in the first living layer of cells, the granular layer. And you can see in the center there that it's a way for two cells to bind so tightly that nothing can get between the cells, it has to go through the cell membrane. And again, they only found this out by being able to breed a mouse that didn't have the ability to form a T-junction. So as soon as they were able to do that, they realized that those mice died on the first day. They lost so much water that there was no chance of them living. So here, it's a signaling effect, so the probiotics land on the surface of the skin. They trigger the cells to form more and better quality T-junctions. So basically the message is, hey, it's cool, we've got this. If any bad guys arrive, we'll deal with it, and you can tighten up. Because the reason your body breaks T-junctions is to allow immune cells through the skin to come and kill the bad guys. So what happens is if you don't have a good coverage of beneficial microbes, the first thing that a pathogen will do is start to break those bonds so that it can get in. And then weirdly enough, your body helps it by carrying on deeper and to allow the immune cells to come through. Okay, so I mean we're primarily interested in anti-aging. So probiotics produce lactic acid, so they're a little bit like installing a hyaluronic acid and the lactic acid factory in your skin, which is generally a better idea than adding hyaluronic acid, but we add a huge amount of hyaluronic acid anyway, but this is a pretty good solution. What that does is it, like I said, improves T-junctions, which means that water isn't lost anymore, the skin fills up and the wrinkles are better. Probiotics also improve skin firmness, so to be honest, we're not entirely sure of the mode of action, but we can show that we can improve skin firmness by 16% in 28 days on average, with 100% of study participants showing a statistically significant improvement. There's a suggestion that probiotics are producing proteins that allow long-chain cross-link, so not the bad cross-link, the long-chain cross-links of between elastin and collagen. Probiotics are being used in third-degree burns at the moment. Again, that's the one way that you can kill your whole skin microbiome is with a third-degree burn. And now you have no microbes. So the first guys that land on there are the guys that are going to dominate. So you have gram-positive microbes usually dominating in the first few days, and then the gram-negatives come through in the next few days, and that's when you're really in trouble. So instead of the old approach of like, oh, let's sterilize and keep this person away from microbes, the new approach is to rather go, hey, hang on, let's get control of this space. So what they're doing is they're breeding lactobacillus and applying it to the burn as it arrives, with much better results. Okay, so just looking very quickly at probiotics in skincare, in general, it's tough to use a live probiotic in a skincare product, because as soon as you add a preservative to that product, it kills the live microbes. So now you're forced into doing a preservative-free product, which is generally not very easy. So these are some of the other ways that you can use probiotics. In general, we've seen a lot of companies using probiotics that basically take a nutrient broth, they add some microbes, let them grow, filter the microbes off, because if you add them to your product, you're going to ruin it, and you use the broth, which is a really easy way to incorporate a probiotic in a final product, but we don't see that as a real probiotic. The other way is to grow them in a nutrient broth, filter them off, and then take the microbes themselves and kill them. So break them with ultrasound or use something to completely obliterate them, and then take the extract of that and use that in the final product, which again is relatively easy to do. Yeah, we're waiting to see what happens with regulation in the skincare industry, because the definition of a probiotic should be similar to that in food. So there are a few brands doing probiotic. There's Aurelia and Tula. Aurelia's in the UK, Tula's in the US, and there are a lot of brands jumping onto the trend line at the moment. But Euromonitor is a global market research company, and they found 2 brands with live probiotics in July this year. So this is a brand called Mother Dirt. The holding company is called AO Biome, and these guys are really cool. So what they've done is they have a water-based system, so there's nothing but water and microbes in that product. They're ammonia oxidizing bacteria, so they live off the ammonia in your sweat. And it's a really interesting company. We're trying to help them break into the European market at the moment. And then there's our brand. So we've used an oil-based system. So what they do is they keep the nutrient back, and then once that microbe lands on your skin and it sees food, it starts to grow and things go smoothly. We chose another route, so we withheld water. So basically what we did is encapsulate the microbe with cellulose and put it into an oil base, and then as soon as that microbe sees water on the surface of your skin, it hydrates and can start to grow. So those are the 2 philosophies, and strangely enough, they're going to be trying to use our philosophy as well, because they really battle with shelf life. And we're also looking at the water-based philosophy. But yeah, rule number 1, if someone's claiming a probiotic product and it has preservatives, right now the technology is not there for that. So it's probably not accurate. And yeah, the one option is to withhold nutrients, and the other option is to withhold water. This is us encapsulating the microbe. So how do you count? So that's us counting in the laboratory. So we have 1 billion live microbes per milliliter in our product. Counting to 1 billion sucks. So basically what you do is you dilute. So what you'll do is you'll take 1 milliliter of product and put it into 10 milliliters of water, and then dissolve and dissolve and dissolve and dissolve, and eventually you get to a stage where you can actually count them on the right hand side of the plate there. So each of those is a colony of growing microbes. So if you're an ecosystem, then you should at least partly consider not polluting it. It's not entirely clear what the result of these pollutants is going to be, but it's probably not a good idea to add synthetic chemicals to an ecosystem. And if you look on the left there, that's sodium lauryl sulfate. So this study was done by 2 of the guys from the Human Microbiome Project, and they were trying to show that microbial chemistry was more common on skin than human chemistry. And they showed that there was double the amount of chemistry that came from light as there was from human cells. But you can see that what they didn't expect to find the volume of synthetic chemicals. So they used 2 people and they sampled on 400 sites, and the 2 people weren't allowed to use any products for 3 days before the study. And still, when they looked, they could find, I mean, you can see that guy's obviously got sodium lauryl sulfate in his shampoo, and you can see the concentrations are very high in his head, also very high on his hands that he uses to rinse. And he obviously showers because you can see it all the way down his chest and back as well. His body wash probably uses cocamidopropylbutane because you can see it's a more even spread. And cocamidopropylbutane is used by a lot of even organic brands, so it's a potential concern. And here, these 2 are sunscreen ingredients, SPF ingredients, and you can see the concentration in the glands, which is a bit concerning. And that was done in winter in San Diego, so these guys probably weren't using sunscreen at the time. So that's what healthy skin should look like. You shouldn't be able to see the skin. Here you see some lactobacillus, the big purple guys. The smaller ones are called bacillus. This big rod through the middle is malassezia. It's a fungus that grows on skin, and it should be there. There are Staphylococcus epidermidis in the top right. It's a very diverse ecosystem. If you're a bad guy arriving, all the food's being used, there's no space for you. The chances of you colonizing are not good. And this here is a skin with eczema, so you can see dominance of one species. Huge numbers of Staphylococcus aureus. That's a skin cell, that whole thing there, and that's the other one. And this blue is a gap between 2 skin cells through which you're probably losing huge amounts of water and fueling the cycle. So keep diversity on your skin. That's the short story.
Wow, I was thrilled. Thank you for being able to present so pedagogically. I really had to concentrate, but I think I got it finally. You explained well what probiotics is.
Cool.
And I understood this thing about the ecosystem. Wow, I'm thinking, if you want to use probiotic skincare, your brand, for example, Esse, what happens if you use those products together with other skincare products that has synthetic chemistry in them?
Okay, so that's quite interesting. What we've seen, because we do skin swabs all the time to find out the effects of, the effects on microbiome. If you look at the formaldehyde-releasing preservatives and the parabens, those are the 2 that seem to do the most damage that we can find on the skin microbiome. So the choice of preservative system of the products that you use is really important, because those preservatives are killing microbes in the product, and they're going to carry on doing that on your skin. So the preservative systems are pretty key.
So basically, if you go probiotic, you should go it all the way. Is that your recommendation?
Yes.
Your skincare routine?
Yeah, I mean, there are ways of, if you do want to hold 2 brands, you could potentially use one brand during the day and then use your probiotic in the evening, perhaps. But yes, probably. It's certainly something that every skincare brand should be considering when they formulate a product.
One more question, because obviously when we're looking into anti-aging products, we want quick results, we want visible results, right?
Yeah.
And you were talking a little bit about that, but how do you work with that in your products? Are consumers happy enough with the visibility effect? Or do you have to have this 40-minute lecture to understand why you should do it?
No, look, our results, you will see results in 2 weeks, and our tests are generally over 28 days. We do 1 or 2 products where we make an exception and go for shorter results, like plant-based Botox effect. But on the whole, we feel that our clients are long-term thinkers and are intelligent enough to understand that if you want a short-term result, you often have to pay the price for that short-term result.
Long-term result, long, happy, beautiful skin.
Yeah, we're after really good-looking 60-year-olds.
Yeah, I want to become one of those. I'm sure we have questions from the audience. Don't be shy. It's kind of a big subject and a lot of chemistry words going on, but please ask. Any? I think there's probably never a better chance to speak to anyone who knows more about this here.
Hi, I wonder what happens if you do a chemical peel. Do you kill the good bacteria, or what happens with the skin surface?
Okay, so the chemical peels, we haven't looked at it, but intuitively that seems to me like something you wouldn't want to do often. You know, it may be something that you could do before your 21st or your marriage or something. But it's it's certainly not something that we would say is a good idea every 2 weeks or every month. And use of AHAs, for example, in an everyday skincare product is something that we would never even consider.
Good question. Here's another one.
I know that you have this series of products, the Plus, and you mentioned the Botox-like product, and can you actually combine that with the other products in the same line to get both the quick fix and the long-term solution?
Yes, so that Botox product is it's a plant that comes from Reunion, and it's a really nice extract that gives you a muscle relaxing effect, the same sort of way as Botox, and it doesn't interfere with. It has prebiotics in it. It has a very mild preservative system, and it basically fits together perfectly with either of the other two serums. So yes, you can certainly use them together.
Any other questions? Yep, we have one. Oh no, you were waving to someone. You have some more questions, excellent.
I wonder what happens, isn't it a risk or chance that if you have your own ecosystem and you add something, living biotics that is not yours, can it be some wrong, I don't know?
That's a great question. Our choice of microbes it took us a long time to settle on the ones that we did. What we were looking for is those old friends, those microbes that you would have been exposed to in the early phases. So we've done, the other thing is that we've done huge amounts of safety testing, because to get into the EU, there's a regulation that says you are not allowed more than 10 microbes per milliliter in your product, and we were advertising 1 billion, so they said stay in South Africa, and we ended up having to go through the food regulations to get through into Europe, and we had to show them huge amounts of safety data, and we're about to start that process again. So we haven't seen reactions. Where we have seen potential problems is when people overuse the product, so when they start using it 4 or 5 times a day, because you do often see other results, particularly with acne. It's not our target. Our target is anti-aging. But sometimes when somebody starts seeing a massive improvement in their acne, for example, they'll start using the product a lot. And then you end up with lactobacillus dominant, which the dominance of any single species is not what you want. You want diversity.
Any more questions?
Hi, sorry about the flu, but how many years you've been developing these products?
So we started in 2010, and the product started shifting. I didn't. When I first heard this, I basically wasn't very happy about my 9 years at university suddenly being useless. But I did. We started in 2010 when the human microbiome first published its big findings. The brand started evolving in that direction. We started working on live probiotics in the final product in 2012, and we got to market with those in June of 2015. Yeah.
I was wondering if you are planning to treat skincare disorders as well as psoriasis.
We do, and we are looking at that currently. The problem is that the process is so long. As soon as you start making medical claims, you're into FDA and the equivalent in the EU, and it takes a really long time. So the route to market is not short. So our choice as a company is to move faster and avoid claims. So we figure people will learn pretty quickly once they start using the products that we're going to be building over the next short while for skin ailments. And we're going to rely on the market to adopt rather than... We'll start the process of going through genuine medical testing at the same time, but I just feel that it'd be irresponsible to sit on this product and wait for ages and ages before we end up in the market.
Wow, Trevor, you will be staying a little bit longer in the Esse Monter. So you're welcome to join in there, maybe ask some more questions. I'm gonna finish this. I think we announced this, your lecture, as it might change our view on skincare forever and on anti-aging forever, and it sure has for me. I'm amazed. Thank you so much. A big round of applause for Mr. Trevor Steyn, Esse Organics.
Thank you.
Tack. Och nästa programpunkt börjar om ungefär 10 minuter för er som vill sitta kvar. Och då är det Emma Bergqvist, marknadschef på Veleda, och Hanna Sjöström, intraprenör, som kommer att prata för oss om